sur ce plateau avec cette belle chanson de The Rims, qui le titre Dipita. C'est le son de leur Dipita, oh Dipita, oh Dipita, oh Dipita. Donc c'est-à-dire vous tournez. Les danses. Ah ouais, c'est Dipita, oh Dipita, oh Dipita, oh. Bref, voilà, une belle mélodie. Job était déjà sur le plateau, avec qui on va échanger. On va parler d'un sujet sur les PME. Good morning, Joybert.
Good morning, Joybert.
Good morning, Calvino. Good to be here.
Thank you.
Today we spoke about the subject of today is
the factors influencing the negative performance of small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon.
Wonderful. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, it's about les PME, c'est yes. À propos des PME aujourd'hui. Alors, on commence par quoi? Parce qu'il faut dire déjà que prenez cahier, prenez vos stylos, prenez vos blocs-notes. Pour ceux qui comprennent la langue anglaise et pour ceux qui sont bilingues, prenez-les. Parce que le cours démarre.
Le Cameroun est un pays bilingue.
You have the flow.
All right. Thank you so much, and it's good to be here for the second time to lead this business training session. And the last session we had incredible feedback from different people that watch live and those who follow on the YouTube channel of STV. And we are looking at the pillars that can push for sustainable establishment of a business. And if you have not watched that, you can go to the STV YouTube channel and search for that video. It's just a continuation of what we are handling today. And many people did raise a very important point that they get to face certain problems as they run their small and medium-sized businesses. So that's why I decided that today's session we are going to handle those negative factors that influence the negative performance of small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon. And I'm just going to list the factors, and we're going to focus on the recommendations. If you are going through this problem, what can you do to sort out this problem? And these negative factors that we're talking about, these are from, I've been doing business training and consulting for 10 years today. So I have seen the challenges that these enterprises go through, and also a research carried out by the Nkafu Policy Institute, where they were trying to look at why is it that some SMEs don't perform like others. And we get to have this horrible statistics that if 10 businesses start up, not up to 8 will make up after the first year, and maybe just 2 will make the 5th year, and just 1 may survive in the 10th year. So why is it that the majority die just at the first year of starting their business? And it is imperative to pay attention to these challenges and negative influences as far as business is concerned in Cameroon. And the first major challenge that a lot of small and medium-sized enterprise businesses face in Cameroon is that majority of SMEs do not carry out adequate market research before they start up businesses. Now, we are going to note some things. These negative influences are both internal and external. And for a business to be successful, you need to pay attention. What are the negative internal influences that can kill my business? And what are the negative external influences that can kill my business? One good thing about business problems is that there are always solutions to every business problem. I am not saying that it is easy to solve the business problems you will go through, but I'm saying that it is possible to solve every business challenge that you will face. So the first challenge that many SMEs fail is an internal challenge. They do not carry out proper, adequate market research. Challenge number 2 is the unawareness of SMEs of the available facilities established to promote their growth. It's very popular. Like if you go to, there are many SMEs that don't know the various facilities that the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises has provided for SMEs to help them succeed. There are many facilities that the Agency for the Promotion of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises has established to help small and medium-sized enterprises succeed, that many of them do not know. Even international agencies, like for example the World Bank, the IMF, African Development Bank, they have these facilities in the country to help support SMEs. But many of them are unaware of this, and it's a negative influence. The third negative challenge: inadequate access to financing by majority of SMEs. If you talk to many entrepreneurs and many business owners, among their top 3 challenges, they will mention money. I don't have enough capital to start a business. I don't have enough capital to increase my business. But then, what can you do in this case? I'll be telling you that what to do. Number 4, low-level expertise and lack of qualified staff. This is one of the major negative influences of SME performance in Cameroon. Lack of or low-level expertise to the promoter of the business, and for people that already have interns and staff, their staff are not qualified enough to run a successful business. And the fifth challenge, or the fifth negative influence, is the fiscal bottlenecks. We're talking about the administrative stuff, taxation, and other challenges that they get to go through, and how can you handle that? And of course, number 6, lack of technical production materials and competition. Absolutely. For SMEs that are into manufacturing and production, one of the major challenges they have is access to these machines that can enable them produce and compete. Like for example, I made a decision some few years back to only wear Cameroon-made dresses and shoes. And sometimes I have some of these fashion designers that have a lot of commands, but they don't have the machines to match up the production of the commands that they have. And that is a negative influence to their businesses. And we're in a setting whereby many Cameroonians in the diaspora would love to wear Cameroonian dresses. And they receive a lot of these orders, and these SMEs struggle to meet up with production because they lack this technical assets or production machinery to make it work. That is why most SMEs in Cameroon lack or possess inadequate technical materials for production to meet up their demand, and they are unable to compete with their foreign counterparts. So these foreign companies come with heavy capital and heavy assets, and they take up the market, and our SMEs tend to struggle. And number 7, we cannot talk about the negative influences of SMEs in Cameroon and we don't talk about corruption. Corruption has killed a lot of SMEs in Cameroon, in many offices. There was a report that was done by Daniel Betcom. In his report, he said corruption and small and medium-sized enterprise in Cameroon. That was the topic. And he says the public officers who most often exercise pressure on SMEs in Cameroon for informal payments, that is bribes, include the taxation officers, customs officers, and electricity officers. So these are the top 3 major people that practice a lot of corruption on SMEs. And how can you manage corruption as a small and medium-sized business owner in Cameroon? We will talk about that. So those are the challenges. I don't want to go deep to explain the pain and the horrible stuff that we have gone through as business people because of these challenges. Let us focus on the recommendations. So for the rest of the session, we will be looking at what can SMEs do, what can business owners do when any of these challenges rise up to face them. And some of you will be listening to this now, you'll be going through one of these challenges. Just take action. As I said, one good thing about business problems is that you can always solve any business problem. It needs commitment, it needs audacity, it needs a bold heart and a bold mind to solve business problems. The first thing we spoke about, the first challenge we saw was that many SMEs venture into businesses without carrying out adequate research. And it's a very big problem. This is not a guesswork. This is from interviews that have been done with a lot of SMEs to why did you fail? You see that maybe they have wrong prices, they produced a product for the wrong market, or they did not market well, they do not know where the customers are or how to scale their businesses. Now, what can you do if you are facing this challenge? I can bet you that any business person who is finding it difficult to do a lot of sales, one of the challenges will be that they don't know where to sell what they are producing. because they did not carry out the right market research to know where the customers are found, what they would like to buy, at how much they would like to buy, and even for example, what color they would like to buy. These are important things that makes up a good business. So the first step to solve this problem is acquire full industry knowledge. The way business owners gather information, exploit this information, and share knowledge about the sector or industry is the central important piece of running a successful business. It is very imperative that every business owner should develop products and strategies for an industry they know a lot about. It is very challenging for you to develop a product for an industry you have no idea about. So pay attention to that. That's why it is recommended that as a business leader, as a business owner, your business can be affected by a lot of numerous factors. That is very true. Developments in politics affects business. The economy affects business. Technology affects business. Societal changes affect business. The environment affects business. Many of these things affect your business. And how can you as a business owner be 10 steps ahead of these numerous external stuff? You need to start acquiring information. Let's just say, for example, an election is coming up in Cameroon, or regional elections are coming up, or senatorial elections are coming up. A good business person is not asking, how will this election affect my business operations? How will political rallies, how will political gatherings, how will whatever that is happening affect my business? Absolutely. How will coronavirus affect my business? You gather this information and you start taking steps. I always say that a normal businessman knows what to do. A good businessman knows their next 2 steps. A great business person knows their next 10 steps. Voilà. It's very important. So don't just wake up and do business. And how do you know your next 10 steps? Have adequate information about your business. Very important. Now, how can you gather knowledge about your business or your industry?
Pardon, avant de continuer, s'il vous plaît, est-ce que tout emplacement peut donner beaucoup de clients, quelles que soient tes connaissances? C'est-à-dire que si quelqu'un veut lancer un business, il a les connaissances comme vous avez là, il maîtrise les business plans, il maîtrise tous les contours, il a la vision de ce qui va arriver devant. Est-ce que quel que soit l'emplacement qu'il prend, avec tous ces connaissances-là, il peut avoir beaucoup de clients, même si ce n'est pas un endroit qui est fluent? Est-ce que c'est possible? Ma question est, est-ce que tous les emplacements peuvent donner beaucoup de clients malgré ta connaissance, avec la connaissance que tu as?
Now, customer acquisition can do with a lot of things. And it also depends on the kind of business you are in. And that is why having the right knowledge, like you talk about business plan and all of these things, one thing that they do is that they open your mind to a lot of things, because in every business sector there are many moving parts that you cannot sit and assume. But when you gather this information, you are able to pay attention to what is important and what is not important. Yes. And then you are able to have access to this customer database. Because, you know, why do you buy something? You buy something because it solves a problem for you. And for me to make sure that you buy what I'm selling, what do I need to do? I need to be sure that you have this problem and you will need the value I have to give you. And then you're able to have clients. Good. Now, when you are drawing up a strategy to acquire information, there are 3 things that is important for people to look at. Number 1, consider how effective your business is currently using in knowledge. For example, what do I mean? Every business has available knowledge, right? And when you want to build a business or a sustainable business, it is important to ask yourself, how are we using the knowledge we currently have? Number 2, analyze your internal processes for gathering and sharing information. Because if you don't have a good system on how you gather information and share information, it's going to affect how you run your business. Because information and knowledge are the hard core of every business. How do you know that if you go and have a business marketing campaign in wrong point, people will buy your product? It's because you have this information that in wrong point is a central junction that people pass there a lot. That's information you are using. You see? So the third thing to do is make sure that the knowledge management and acquisition and distribution is a continuous process. What do I mean? Ensure that your staff, yourself, you know that acquiring knowledge and managing knowledge is a continuous process in our business. As long as customer needs continues to change, as long as customers continue to grow in their income and some are dropping their income, as long as what they want and needs are changing, you cannot be stagnant with your business. You need to make sure that you are getting all of this information. Point number 2, how can you sort out these problems that SMEs go through? Customer insights and foresight. Customers' insights. I'm going to explain. And foresight. This is very important. Many a times, many SMEs focus just on customer insights and they don't go that deep. Now, employees at any level in any organization, at any function that they do, whether you're marketing, operations, sales, cashier, customer service, it is important to monitor and understand the current needs of the current customers and their satisfaction. That's the meaning of insight. You are trying to make sure what are the current needs and the current customer satisfaction we are giving to our present customers. That's the already customers that we have. Most importantly, customer foresight. It is where a business is making sure that the potential customer needs and opportunities, we are anticipating these opportunities and these needs, and we are restructuring ourselves to meet these needs. So a good small and medium-sized business executive should practice customer insight and customer foresight. If you practice just customer insight, a time will come whereby you will not be having new customers running into your business because you are not paying attention on how you can acquire new customers. And if you are very boring to old customers, they will run away from you and go to the next competitor. And that's a challenge. So customer insight makes you to understand what are the current needs and how are we satisfying our current customers. What do they like from us? How can we make sure that they are very satisfied, we exceed their expectations and keep them closer to us? And customer foresight is what are the needs of our potential customers? What are the opportunities in our business and in the marketplace that we can leverage on and bring in new customers into the business? Business leaders should know customers' needs, what they think of their business, operations, and products. This is very important. Many a times, SMEs don't. That's why you can go to a business, small business, and a customer service agent talks to you anyhow, and you will never hear the business manager or the director actually call you back and say, please, we are sorry how one of our staff behaved towards you. We really apologize. Please, we'll make up to you when you come back next time. But it's very common in many other advanced countries because they know that it is important. It is the responsibility of every business owner to make sure that the customer's needs, what the customer thinks about the business in general, what the customer thinks about the business operations, and what the customer thinks about the products, it is very important. So executives may be able to develop mutually beneficial knowledge sharing relationships with the customers and with the team. That way they are able to build a good business that is surrounded by customer insight and customer foresight. The next important piece to solve the business challenges that SMEs go through is competitor insight and competitor foresight. Now, when you pay attention to customer insight and customer foresight, you also need to look at competitor insight and competitor foresight. What does that mean? The extent to which employees in a business, they need to pay attention to understand and respond to competitor strengths and weaknesses. That's customer insight. They're able to look at, based on the current competitors that we have right now. Let's take an example. STV, for example. Let's say that STV wants to practice competitor insight. What they will do is that they're going to pick out all other TV houses in Douala and put them down and look at what are the strengths and the weaknesses of all the media houses. That is competitor insight. You're trying to dig deep to understand what they are doing right and what they are doing wrong. Because one of the best ways to build a good business and have a good market share or be a good business leader in your market is for you to pay attention. What are the competitor strengths and competitors' weaknesses? What you are doing is competitor insight. Don't just leave it to chance. You will never know when a business will kick you out of the market. What do I mean by competitors' foresight? Is when you are paying attention to new market entrants and potential competitors. You are like, maybe you hear that this, maybe you are watching the news and you hear that there's a new company coming in from this country to establish a branch in Cameroon. What you need to do is start looking at who are the new market entrants or potential competitors that can affect my business. Competitor insight and foresight also involves questioning competitors. What do I mean? It involves asking the following set of questions and having brainstorming meetings with your team members to see how you can take advantage of what is coming. What are some of the questions that you can ask when you are practicing competitor questioning? Number one, how are major competitors performing? One of the most important questions every business owner should be asking in the marketplace. Remember I said last time, what makes an economy? It is industries that makes an economy. For example, in Cameroon, let's say the media industry, telecommunication industry, fashion industry, food industry, the hotel industry. These are industries that makes up the Cameroon economy. And in every industry, there are companies that makes up an industry. Like, let's say the media industry, newspapers, publishing houses, TV houses, radio houses. These are companies that makes up the media industry. Now, any player in any industry needs to pay attention to competition in your industry. And how do you do that? You need to do what I call competitor questioning. You ask the following question. Number one, how are major competitors performing? How are people around us in our industry, how are they performing? Those that are performing good, pay attention. Those that are performing bad, pay attention. Number two, how much are they charging? Of course, in every industry, there's exchange of money and value. Your company is asking, how much are they asking for their services? How much are you asking for your services? The third question is, are there any new entrants into the market? Are there new companies coming into our industry? What are they bringing in new? What are they going to do different that we are not doing? The fourth question to ask when you are doing competitor foresight is, have any significant new products been launched? See, in every industry, there are products that when they are launched into the market, they change the face of that industry.
Yes.
Wow.
In every industry.
Yes.
Like, for example, let's take the photography industry. The days of Yashica, right? You used to do Yashica camera, they say, wait, let me go and print picture and come and give you. But now, when digital cameras came, it changed the face of photography industry. Now, when Instagram came, it changed the face of photography industry. You see, every industry has several products that when they are launched into the market, they change the face of that product. Look at the telephone industry. When Apple launched the iPhone, it changed the telephone industry forever. And as a business person, as a small and medium-sized enterprise, whether you're in a small quarter, whether you're in a small community, whether you're in a town like Douala, start paying attention. Have any new significant product been launched in my industry? How will that affect me? One of the things that will happen is that a significant product launched by a competitor will take away some of your customers. When you anticipate that, which is competitor foresight, what can you do to make sure that a significant product should not take away your customer? It's important. And the next question to ask when you're doing competitor foresight is, who is on the most innovative initiative? There are some companies that are working on innovative initiatives. Pay attention to that. And lastly, what are they doing different to influence their brand? In every industry, there's always what I call brand fighting. Brands are fighting another brand. And for any brand to lead, there is something that that company or that business is doing different to make sure that their brand is stronger, better, and more influential than any other brand in the sector. For example, a company could decide and say, you know what, we're going to visit 10 orphanages in Douala and have all TV channels talk about what we did as corporate social responsibility. That is a strategy to influence how people talk about their brand in that market.
The social entrepreneurial.
Absolutely. Social entrepreneurship. So it is imperative to do competitor foresight and pay attention to what is coming. The fourth thing that business owners need to pay attention to make sure that their companies or business are not struggling is effective operations and internal governance. When I talk to SMEs that I work with, and they're struggling to have very good businesses, when you start going deep into their companies, you see that they have very poor internal governance structure. Like, for example, they don't have a clear system on how they record money. So the promoter or the proprietor comes and take money from the drawer anytime and go do whatever they want to do. Or somebody comes, a friend comes, or go and take one man and remove it from the drawer and pay. There's no process that tracks finances, that tracks money. That's internal governance. How will your business not die?
And what are we supposed to do?
Absolutely.
When it is like that?
Perfect. So you need to set up an effective operation system or an internal governance system, which says that when money comes into the drawer, like payments of goods and services, before money leaves, it should be duly signed by maybe the manager or the customer service head or whoever is in position. That is why having people in the right places is good for your business. You see, so an internal governance system this is how we should be doing things. This is a process. So thriving few businesses intentionally pay attention to increase business productivity and efficiency by making better use of in-house expertise and master internal governance. Don't allow important parts of your business to be moving anyhow. Have important internal processes and let your staff know. As far as money is concerned, for money to leave the business for any expenses, this should be the process and this should be approved by this person. For goods to be given on credit, this is what we need to take into consideration before goods are given on credit. For this to happen, set very clear internal governance and educate your staff to know how to implement these internal governance. That is when you have a good business. But a business without internal governance, give it 2 years, it will die. And one of the first things that will happen is that you will notice that the capital has disappeared. Right? Somebody will say that, I don't know where the capital went to. The point is, you are not tracking how you are using money, so the capital disappeared to things that you are not paying attention to. So business owners must go through operations design in order to be effective in their operations. Operations design create a system made up of processes, tools, and templates. Templates are like a step-by-step process within which the business understands the structure, and most importantly, they can prioritize projects and connect to the business strategy and make sure that no negative action is taken that can break the business or influence the business negatively. Number 5, if you talk to business people, young business, especially young ones, they were like, I don't have money to grow my business. Now, the question is that, the point is that that money is not there. The point is many people don't know how to look for money. Because there are people that have money and they would like to invest in businesses or do a lot of things. The point is that as a business person, as an SME business owner, if you don't know the various innovative financing models available to you, you will not even know where to look for this money. The first, of course, thing that you need to do when it comes to starting up a business or running a good business, you need to have personal capital. Now, personal capital builds your credibility. It makes an external person to believe in what you are doing. Let's say you want to invest in my business. You'll be more convinced when I tell you that, Mr. Calvino, I have 10 million in this business. If you give me 10 million, we'll be very successful. You will trust me. But if you come and I'm telling you that, Mr. Calvino, this business is good. Please give me 10 million. And you ask me, how much do you have inside? I say, nothing. You will not trust me. There's no credibility. There's no belief. Because when somebody has a part of their money into something, they can move heaven and earth to make sure it succeeds.
It's true.
But when it's just somebody's money, that's why a friend was saying that compare this philosophy to taximen. When a taximan is driving a car that is his, they take care of it very well.
Yes.
Right? Because it's their money. They have put some money into it. But when they're driving somebody else's car, the level of care that they put to that taxi is not as much as if it's their own. It's just normal for human beings. So one thing that happens is that many young people have ideas, but they have not decided to start up the idea, and nobody can give you credibility for what you have not started or for what you don't have investment in it. Number 2 to raise money is know how angel investors work. Who is an angel investor? An angel investor is somebody who has money and is always looking for innovative ideas to put money into that. And there are a couple of angel investors in Cameroon, and there's even Association of Business Angel Investors in Cameroon. Go on Twitter and follow them. You'll see what they do. And you go to incubators and accelerators. These investors connect with these guys, partner with them, work with them, tell them what you do, and you can always get an investor that can put in some money into your business. Crowdfunding is another one. There are many international platforms that you can go raise funds and people contribute money to your initiative if it's innovative, if it's interesting, and they raise money for you. Pitching competitions. There are companies, there are embassies, there are international agencies that organize special pitching competitions for SMEs in Cameroon. If you need to know when these things are happening. I always advise young entrepreneurs to go and make sure that you follow international agencies and embassies and any business agency that promote entrepreneurship in Africa. Follow them on social media so that when they are launching these pitching competitions, you are aware of them and you can take advantage. You apply, you go perform, and you do that. Grant is another way that you can raise money for your business. Bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is another way that you can increase your business. What is bootstrapping? Bootstrapping is a business model. It's a financing model whereby you decide that if your business, you have a small business right now, and it's making 100,000 francs as profit monthly, you can have an agreement with yourself and with your staff or whoever that you started that business with, and you agree that we are going to grow this business through bootstrapping. And bootstrapping means that you're going to agree a percentage of your monthly profit that you will reinvest back into the business. So you agree that, okay, if we are making, any time that we make profit, we'll always put back 85% of the profit back into the business and buy either asset for the business or increase stock for the business. That's bootstrapping. Many great companies succeeded today because of bootstrapping. Because bootstrapping means that you will also choose not to live a lavish lifestyle or live a good lifestyle for a while, maybe 2-3 years, so that you can swell the company's capital and you can start making a lot of profit before you can start doing what you do. So bootstrapping may be one of the easiest ways that you can have a good financing model for your business. This works a lot for people who have already started their business and they are making profit. You do bootstrapping, you reinvest a percentage of your monthly profit back into the capital or stock, these two areas. Don't reinvest and buy, for example, a liability. For example, just go buy a business car, maybe the business is running the car right now. Make sure that you are reinvesting part of your profit into an asset that will increase the production or business operations, or you're increasing part of the profit into stock that you will sell that stock and make a lot of money out of it. The next challenge, we saw that one of the factors influencing business negatively is poor skills. The business founder and the staff itself, inadequate skills. So skills? Competence. Poor competence. Yes, it's a very popular challenge in business. So what can you do? Continuous upskilling of employees is very important. It is recommended that for a business person, for business owners, they should intentionally always pay attention. What are the core skills that my staff needs to have, and be updated in these skills so they can perform very well? It's very important to pay attention to that. So this is to help the SMEs or the business owners to develop new skills and improve existing skills that are required for their roles. For example, you cannot expect your customer service officer to relate with people professionally when you have not trained that customer service person on people management skills or on communication skills. So you need to upskill them and let them acquire new competence to be able to do what you desire. And there is something that happens when employees are upskilled. They have diversification of skills, meaning that they can take on additional tasks. What do I mean? You can decide and train your customer service officer with digital marketing skills. so that when the business needs extra hands in that department, they can always help and diversify their skills and serve the company. And it is confirmed and projected that any time that there is upskilling in a company, it increases the overall productivity of the company by at least 50%. Anytime that the staff have good skills, profitability can always increase at a very good percentage. Number 7, which many SMEs don't like to talk about, master government regulations and taxes. It's very important. One of the major things that many SMEs shy away from is the government offices and government taxes. You cannot run a business in any country and you don't know your government. That's the fastest way to kill your business. Every business is regulated by a government department or a government ministry. And it is very important that SMEs should know which ministry regulates. I have spoken to many SMEs. And when you talk to an SME, you ask her, what do you think? Which ministry regulates your operations? They have no idea. So now, when they come the next day, maybe the next day and they close your shop, you don't even know where to go. Absolutely. You see? So it's important that SMEs should master government regulations and taxes. The first step is know which ministry is regulating your business. Like, for example, if you run a business like STV, you know the Ministry of Telecommunications regulates your business. So if anything happens, that's where you should go first. Sometimes when things happen, SME owners don't know which office to go to, if their office is locked or whatever happened. The second thing is taxes.
The tax, oui.
Know the taxes you have to pay.
Exactly.
A good business person should know the tax code. Now, my experience proved that one of the high reasons that tax officers do a lot of corrupt practices with SMEs is that they go and intimidate SME business owners because they know they don't have adequate information about their businesses. One of the best ways to manage tax officials who are corrupt is to have the right information about the type of tax you're supposed to pay and when you're supposed to pay that tax. When they come to you and they're trying to raise their brows and what they do, it's important. You educate them to let them know that you know. When they know that you know, they will never come and harass you or be corrupt or take money from you. So don't leave this to chance. It is very, very important. Thank you so much, and I hope you had a great time.
Next Wednesday.
On avait pourtant des questions, mais
voilà,
le temps fait défaut.
Juste ici, donner la. Il y a eu un grave accident sur la falaise de Tchang ce matin, très tôt ce matin, et puis une collision entre un camion et un bus, un gros porteur. On parle de 5 personnes qui ont pu sortir, le reste calciné, y compris même ceux du camion. Voici la liste provisoire des personnes qui sont accidentées. On a Nanfak Céline, Chopkeng Marceline, Solefak Gisèle, Chongkeng Sagon, Matagou Florence, Ndiotia Michel, Nanfak Bertin, Tchagé Achille, Tagouze Cédric, Assacha Sylvestre, Ndé Fidèle, Kana Pierre Aimé, Tefak Guy Roger, Megan Christelle, Kenfak Paul, Tene Christ Yohan, Tchafak Merveille, Nga William, Tinko Lionel, Djoucha Céline, Ngemezing Luciel, Zomzing Bernadette, Chegui Kenfak, Tagotieu Christelle, Zombu Ngune, Azemkou Junior, Bébé X, il y a un bébé, Yemele Céline, Kenfak Ngimfo Vanessa.
Décédé.
Le bébé là a 1 an, 6 mois environ. Les personnes qui sont déjà à l'hôpital de district de Tchang décédées. Alors, que ces personnes reposent en paix. La route a encore tué Nous sommes dans la tristesse ce matin au Cameroun. Un autre accident qui fait des morts. RIP à toutes les personnes décédées et nos condoléances les plus attristées à toutes les familles éprouvées. Thank you, Joybert. Next week, we are going to be together again. Have a nice day. God bless you. Et merci Calvino. Solange, un petit malaise. Elle sera là demain. Ça va aller. Juste un mal de tête qui passe. Ça va passer. Dieu vous bénisse. Retrouvons-nous demain. Ce sera avec la prophétesse. Ciao.